Hey Dante, I wanted to ask you, what are some things that you're looking forward to playing in SEC ball, coming from the Ivy Leagues? What are some things you think will be some of the main differences, and just what are you looking forward to with that?
Well, some of the main differences I've seen here so far are just going against better players. These are highly recruited guys coming out of high school, highly recruited guys possibly going into the pros soon. And in order to take my game to the next level, you have to be able to compete with these guys. And that's what we're doing here.
Dante, coming from the Ivy League, and I guess when other guys found that out, did they ever try to challenge you,
Right.
on the field or off the field and say, this is SEC, have they tried to kind of lord it over you?
Yeah. That is something I've faced here. Coming from the Ivy League, it's a smaller FCS program. But in order to, be in that program, you still have to be a great athlete. And I know when I'm out here, I carry a chip on my shoulder trying to prove that respect for the Ivy League, playing at this level. Being here, obviously you're the new guy coming in. You'll be in practice, get bumped up a little bit, but that's just football. So, being here, I've realized that we have a lot of respect for each other, and we have a lot of transfers who also did come from the FCS level. But all of us, we have to have that chip on our shoulder to prove that we're all great athletes.
Go way in the back, Hale.
Dante, I got a few questions for you. First, are you the fastest guy on the team?
I guess that's something we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see that during the season.
Are you smartest guy on the team?
I'm pretty smart.
Who would you say, and I know you haven't been around for too long, but who talks the most trash on the team?
Who talks the most trash?
Or just on the defense?
We got a lot of boys, got a lot of boys, man. My dog Devo, he can chop it up. He chops it up a little bit. That's my dog on and off the field. I've noticed Cam Smith, he can talk a little bit, but he's a dog too. So, we all go at it in practice, and that's just how football is. So,
has anybody gotten after you? You kind of alluded to being a new guy and getting bumped around a little bit.
No, I won't put out any names, but the defense, we rough up a little bit.
Blaine.
So I'm from right outside New York City, so I'm also coming down from the north. Have kind of along the lines, have you gotten any for being from the north? Like, is there any difference between that?
Not really. A lot of guys, they're like, "Oh yeah, man, it's a little hotter out here than New York City." So as far as the weather, yeah, I've gotten a lot of crap for that. But other than that, nothing really. A lot of guys ask me what it's like, living in New York for so long. I'm actually from Richmond County, but my family's from New York, which is one of the main decisions, I had to go through, moving up there for school. But I'm actually from the South, so I had to adapt to New York for those 4 or 5 years while I was up there.
Joe.
Dante, I have to ask, where'd the nickname Little Turbo come from?
My freshman year at Columbia, I took like a 90-yard run to the house, and one of my coaches started calling me. He called me Little Turbo, and it just kind of carried over my college career.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, so of course you already mentioned, waiting to see who the fastest player on the team is, and Lavoisier said that's kind of an ongoing debate, I guess, among the running back room. But I understand you have a track background, so I was curious, one, were you looking to play track at all here, or is it kind of all systems going football? And then also, how does that experience, I guess, help you in the backfield? I understand a lot of football players do have track backgrounds, but how does that help you in the backfield as far as maybe acceleration or something like that?
Acceleration is a big thing. In order to be successful in the track, you have to have great acceleration. So, those first 3 steps in the backfield are very important after getting the ball or after getting through that second line of defense. My track background is just really straight line speed. It helps straight line speed, but playing at this level, you have to have horizontal speed. So that's something I work on off the field, and that's something I do want to work on with my game, and that is also one of my strengths in my game. I would not be participating on the track team here. I'll be focusing on football because this is SEC football. This is a job. You need to focus on what's going on the field.
There's a lot of transfers coming into this team who's had different experiences. What do you remember about your first trip to Columbia, and what kind of sold you on this program more than anything else?
Well, in 2016, I actually came out here on a visit, and somebody asked me, she was like, one of my teachers, she was like, "Oh, are you going to South Carolina?" And she commented on one of my pictures and said that, and I didn't reply because And back in 2016, I wasn't offered. And that's when I had a bunch of Ivy League offers, and I was committed to James Madison at the time. I was like, dang, I'd love to go play in the SEC. But then, I ended up in Ivy League, which is a great decision, got my degree and whatnot. And when I had the opportunity to come back here on my visit, I met Coach Shane Beamer, Coach Monterio Hardesty, and just the level of coaching and the respect as a man that we get from them is just different. I've never experienced it with any other coaches. And that's something that I look forward to. And you always want to play for a program where it's bigger than football. And here it's bigger than football. So I just felt right at home. And, it's always been a dream to play here. So it feels good to be here living the dream.
Dante, you mentioned playing with a kind of chip on your shoulder, but just as you get into camp and get it closer to the season, how do you feel like you can help impact this team, whether it's offensively or on special teams?
I'm the type of guy where you could really put me wherever you need somebody. I'm a bigger guy, I'm fast, and I'm physical, and I play hard. Effort's never been an issue for me. I'm going to give you effort no matter who lines up against me. So wherever and whenever I can help this team, that's what I'll do.
Dante, I think before you committed here, you told the story about shoveling snow and getting workouts in when you guys couldn't play during the COVID year and the Ivy League shut things down. I guess when you look from then to now and where things are and getting to be in the SEC, getting ready for the season, I guess what's that like to sort of look back on, the last 18, 24 months and what's that like to kind of reflect on a little bit?
It was tough, man. Playing football in New York City, it was rigorous. I had to deal with the weather. And sometimes we couldn't, get the shuttle to go to the practice field. Like, I'd go up to the field maybe 6-7 days a week. If you didn't take the subway, you had to find another way to get there. The bus could take an hour. So you had to really tighten down on my schedule. And when we got to the field, there'd be snow all over the field. I'd take a shovel out, a quarter of the field, and just to do one-on-ones with linebackers, just to do that. And, playing at this level, it teaches me to, just to appreciate what we have here. We have an indoor facility, and we didn't have that where I came from. So whatever it was outside, in New York, it gets really cold. Sometimes, most of the days when we caught passes from quarterbacks, I probably couldn't feel my pinky. So it was rough playing football in New York for a while, but I just really appreciate what we have here, and I don't take a moment of it for granted.
Anything else for Dante? Good. All right, that's a wrap for today.
Thank you.